All right, part 7. So I think what I was just showing you was these arrows here. They need to go to an ADO.NET destination. And so I haven't had this problem before when I would go in here, saying the data is null. So I'm hoping that this isn't broken right now because I truncated my tables and deleted everything to start over for you guys. But normally you would select a table from here, a CDC enabled table. And that would be that would be our, well, that's going to be our transaction table, is the one that's got the change data capture on it. And then you would select the state, but I'm just going to X out of this and just kind of hope for the best. So for this table, you need to go down and actually select the table to use. So we're using this staging inserts table that we created before. But if we wanted to create a new table, you're going to see that it kind of gives us this format here that should look pretty similar to what we have over here. See, this is the kind of format that we were building. And then I stripped the column names of the parentheses because I use underscores. And then I changed the name to, it gave us a specific name, but I changed it to the schema name that I wanted. So I did that for all three. And then you have to, just like any other mapping, but this mapping, I mean, if you have the right naming convention, I mean, it's expecting these column names. So if you've created that in T-SQL, then you just don't really have to do anything here. But that's the split. That's where basically it takes your data. So it gathers your current log sequence number. It splits your data into an insert, update, or delete, and actually uses that ADO.NET connection to push your data into the corresponding staging table. From there, from the staging tables, it's got the 3 staging tables. It's then going to insert, update, and or delete your data, all in regards to the fact table. So this is just like before. This is a SQL script. So instead of just writing the statement in here, again, you're using this is back to OLEDB, using the connection to the database. Make sure your bypass is set to false, but the scripts, we're going to do a script for an insert, for update, and delete. So we're going to go back here to the insert command. So if you know how to insert data, you're going to insert into the fact table, and then you're going to list out the column names. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns that we're inserting into. And then what are we inserting? Well, we're going to select those 5 column names. And I try to make sure this is in the same order too. From staging inserts dot NASDAQ underscore inserts. And then for the update, this is a little bit more complicated than an insert, but it's still not bad. You update the fact table. You're going to set, we're going to set 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to update these 4 columns. We're going to update the name, the price, the stock date time, the load date time. We're going to set that equal to the staging values. So we're going to do, this is a join, or basically an inner join. We're going to inner join the fact table to the staging table for the updates. So we're interjoining the fact table with the staging table for updates on the stock ID. So I chose to use stock ID, which is our primary key in one table. It's kind of like our surrogate key in the facts table. And so we're going to join on that. So that's why we don't need to update it here, because it's already in there. i.e. it's an update, not an insert. It's nothing new. It's just a change. And we're going to filter it on where f.stock ID equals s.stock ID. And you'll notice over here that I've used an alias for the staging tables, but I'm not using an alias for the fact table. It's you don't do that. You don't how do I put it? You basically just don't do this. You don't use a schema on the table that you're updating. It won't work otherwise. And then down here, you also create a statement for the deletes. So you delete from the fact table where the stock ID is in, and then you select stock ID from the staging deletes table. So those are going to be the three big changes you're going to make to your fact table. And if you can see that, those three changes are in a sequence container. So these are the incremental inserts, updates, and deletes. And then after that completes, you're going to come down here and mark your change data capture table as complete. So you're going to mark the processed range. So you have those multiple choices. Before we did a get processing range. Now we're marking the processed range. Again, using the same CDC state table and the same CDC state name. So that kind of finishes your CDC process. And then after you've done that process, just like with any staging tables, I want to work with some empty staging tables. So I'm going to go ahead and at the tail end, I'm just going to do 3 more scripts. SQL, these are execute SQL tasks. And I'm just going to truncate the staging inserts, truncate the staging updates, and truncate the staging deletes. So I believe that's everything. Man, the one thing I don't like is this incremental splitter right now. Let's just say reads change data from a SQL Server change table, making it available for processing downstream. Okay. Well, so this is, earlier I had this selected as a table. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because I deleted the underlying data or what for this. So I might have to update that later. This should work just fine. So my Python script should be running. So I want to X out of here. I'm not going to save that. So when I ran this earlier, it did work. So fingers crossed it still does. If not, then I will make the update and I will show you later how to do that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for change data capture. I'll follow back up with this in a day or two after I've had hopefully a couple of successful loads, and we can take a look at the data and how it's progressing. So it should be pretty much live from here on out.